Hey everybody, good morning and welcome back. Oklahoma Joe's Bronco Pro out tonight or out today. Again, we're not going to cook on this, but what we are going to do today is the initial burn-in, or you can call it the seasoning of your grill. Pretty much just running this with about a half a load of charcoal for, well, as long as it runs for. I'm going to start at low and slow at like 250 for the first couple hours, and then I'll probably open up both vents. The instruction manual you get for this, it does say open up the intake and the exhaust full bore when you do this. But I'm just going to run it a little low first, and then we'll finish off hot. So I'll bring you in here, and I'll show you how I am going to season this thing up. All right, so first things first, what I did is there's a bunch of sticky stuff on the inside of this barrel, so I took some just a little bit of denatured on a white rag, and I kind of just wiped everything, just because, well, for one, the burn off would have taken care of it. That is the reason why you do a burn off. But I just wanted to get rid of it. And there's a bunch of little styrofoam chunks in the bottom of this thing, so I also took my vacuum and vacuumed out the bottom. But what we're going to do before we get a fire going on this is I got some of this canola oil, and I always keep a couple cans of this around here because I do have that Camp Chef flat top, but I am going to go ahead and coat the whole inside with a light coat of canola oil. And I'm also going to get the inside of the lid. That should be about good. The reason I'm doing this is it should help prevent rust if I'm not mistaken. And I did this with my UDS, and it seems to be working pretty good. But now, since I got the whole inside coated with some canola oil, it's time to get a fire going. So let's go ahead and do that. So first thing first comes the ring, or the stand-up ring. Second comes our ash pan. And third comes the charcoal. And I got this thing about halfway full of some B&B oak lump. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is I got 2 tumbleweeds in there. Just going to go ahead and let those tumbleweeds start up and let it burn with the top off for about 10 to 15 minutes. I should note that when I'm doing this, that my exhaust, or my, not my exhaust, but my intake is wide open, allowing oxygen to get to the bottom of that barrel. It really shouldn't matter right now because the lid is off, but I am running this all the way open. So I'm going to let this go ahead and burn for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to put the diffuser plate in, or I'll just pick back up when I close it down. So we will see you then. Alrighty, so this thing's been burning for about 10-15 minutes. When I'm using a cooker, or even for that matter, even if I'm starting up my PBC, if I don't light charcoal to get this thing started in the chimney, if I'm going to light it right in here with some tumbleweeds, I always use 2, just because if you use 1, this thing takes forever to come up to temp, I think, unless you leave the lid open for quite a while. But I use 2, let them burn for about 10-15 minutes, and then you can have this thing up to 250 in 15-20 minutes or so. So now I'm going to go ahead and stick that diffuser plate in there. And I was wrong. I thought the diffuser plate sat on here. I believe it does sit on here when you're going to be doing some direct cooking, because you can't put your charcoal basket right up here and then your grate here, and you can actually use this as a grill. So, I mean, I can see a reverse sear video in the future that I start it down low, then bring this thing up high and sear a big old ribeye right here. But for today, when we're just doing a burn-in, I'm going to put this thing down to where it's supposed to be, right over that coal basket. And then we go in with the grate. Get that leaf off there, and then I am going to stick a temp probe right dead center in here just to see kind of how we're doing. That's not quite center. Just like that. And now that it's set up just like this, I'm going to go ahead and close this thing down, and then I'm going to open up the exhaust all the way. And then I'm going to leave them both opened all the way until I get temps right around 250, and then hopefully I can close this the intake right over here to about a quarter of the way. And then my goal is that hopefully I can leave this chimney open all the way all the time, but we shall see. But yeah, monitoring the temps. There is that temp gauge right on the front of this grill. I'm kind of impartial. I mean, I don't really use temp gauges on grills all that much. To me, it just more or less tells me that I have heat but what I do like to use is my digital. This is the ThermalWorks X4. And what I do like to do is monitor it just with that. That way I always know right where it's at. So now besides that, I'm going to sign off here, and I will probably, I don't know, I'll check back in about an hour or so. So we are back. Been burning for about 2 hours. One quick thing I noticed, I don't know if you can see that, but by every single bolt hole, I do have a little line of, it's not grease, I'm sure it's that canola oil that I sprayed. Those are the only holes I did not put any of that RTV sealant, believe it or not. I thought that coat of RTV sealant around the two pieces of the lid would have done good enough, but, you know, not a huge deal. I know what I'm going to do once this thing gets finished burning. I'm probably going to go ahead and pull that bolt out, and then I'm going to put a bead of that RTV sealant around that, and then that should seal that up. But like I said, I've been going for 2 hours. Gauge temp reads just a tick over 200. My ThermalWorks X4 reading at about 282. I don't think this thing's waterproof, so I got it in a plastic bag. But let's just go ahead and take a peek and see what the inside looks like after about 2 hours. There's that. Not a whole heck of a lot to see, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is close this thing down. My chimney has been open the entire time, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the intake as well. And I'm going to let this thing burn the rest of the way out. Again, you can notice a difference between that gauge and my, my third party, my ThermalWorks. 100% expected for me. That gauge, my UDS build, I didn't even put a gauge on there just because they're not that important to me. And to me, I think this thing glows in the dark, so I guess, I don't know, that's kind of cool, I guess. But, yeah. One thing I didn't show you yesterday, I don't have anything on there now, but there is that logo plate right there, and it kind of just, it comes right off. I might get it, I know a guy who does some CNC work. I might have him CNC it, or I might just get like a sticker made, or I just might put a bunch of little stickers on there. I'm not sure yet. But all in all, besides them, 5-6 bolts that have that canola oil running out, or moisture running out, I'm pretty pleased. Super easy to maintain temps on this, and I still can't get over the overall size of this thing. Like, it's massive. Like, it's pretty dang big. It's really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna check back in here probably in about a couple hours, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, just to see where the temps do set at, with both vents wide open. So we will pick back up then. So we are back. We have been on for about exactly 4 hours. Did the first couple hours at about 250 to 275, and then I opened up both vents, and this thing's been running anywhere in between 375 and 400. It is starting to drop temps now. It's down to about 340-ish the last time I checked, but I figured I'll just give you one final look at this thing on the inside of the barrel. Kind of see it got some color to it from the seasoning portion of this process, as you might call it. But there's a grill grate, not much really to see there. But yeah, that's pretty much going to conclude this video. Overall, super happy with how easy it was to maintain that 250 to 270 temp range right off the bat. To me, that 275-ish is like, and I use ish, but that 275-ish temp range is like right where I like to smoke a lot of my meat, and I don't think this will be hard to maintain that temp whatsoever. Didn't really see, there really wasn't a whole lot of smoke. Maybe there was some smoke from the chemicals that burnt off, but it all came out the chimney stack. Nothing came out around that, around that seal, which for those of you who didn't notice, this does have a nice gasket around it. Pretty cool. It comes standard on these. Yeah, besides that, I got one thing I'm going to do, and that's going to is pull all these bolts out, like I said before, that are down here, and I'm going to put a bead of that RTV around it and clean up the barrel because there is a drip mark on each one of those. Not a huge deal. I just wish, honestly, I don't know why I did it. Every other bolt hole has a tube or of a little line of that RTV sealant on it, but for some reason I didn't do those. So yeah, not a big deal. Gonna take care of it once it cools off, let it sit overnight, and hopefully we're gonna break this in on its first official cook in the morning. So that's all I got for this video. Hope it was helpful. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check me out on Instagram, Facebook, and obviously this is YouTube. But maybe tell your friends. This is to me, this is gonna be a great cooker. And again, I still can't get over the overall size of the thing. Like she's pretty big. Like the pallet, like the box weight was 177 pounds, and yeah, she's pretty. She's like a tank. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. You guys and girls have a good night, and we will see you next time.